New tape, and I was having trouble with the camera. Some stuff was acting funny on it, so what I'm doing right now is just testing it. I'm going to stop recording in a minute and try to play. Something was really screwed up. We'll see. I don't know if it'll show up on this, but on binoculars there is a adult hawk sitting on the right hand side of the nest. A little bit of vertical yellow or light color is the breast. Go way into digital zoom. That's him or her. That's encouraging since I'm going up there. Shorter distance, but much steeper. A lot more big obstacles than the Raven's Nest off to the left there. Well, I ran the engine for a while just to charge up the battery a little bit, forgetting, the condensation that collects in the tailpipe, and there the bees are in there. Get the focus going there. I started the engine up again. I give them a rude surprise, but I don't want to do that. I don't think they're going to hurt anything. But they collect all around my van in the door. What I was curious because they were starting buzzing all around the door and coming buzzing inside, just inside the door all around me and aggravating me. That's the two hawks together. I dare zoom any further. Is he carrying something? Well, I'm getting ready to go up mountain to the hawk's nest and see if I'm going to have the nerve to walk out on that ledge and see the baby hawks. Got a rope attached to the back of my pack. Maybe I can get a picture in the reflection in the well, I could eyes, I don't know. Anyways, I got the smaller pack, drank a quart of water, and binoculars and video camera will be hanging around my neck, and I got my walking sticks, not the shovel, trekking poles, and that's an old goal line rope. Yeah, climbing rope, but it's over 10 years old, and I decided I'm not willing to risk actually rappelling straight down a surface on a rope. But so I've decided that if I can't depend on that rope just to maintain my balance and maybe just a little bit of weight, then I won't do it. This thing keeps going in back into standby for some reason. I don't know when I'm recording or not. Anyways, there's a hawk over there. He and a raven were upset and with each other. But there's the nest over there. And there's last time I looked at it, there wasn't any adult there. But I'm just getting ready to start up the mountain. The first goal is to pass to the right side of that, and then up through there, up to the base, but it looks like a ceiling. That's what they are. I've never seen them do that. But they do like to get on these flowers. I've seen them, but I've never seen them flying around together like that, messing with each other. Maybe they're trying to mate. But these are smaller than what I usually see them. They can get really big. I've seen them approaching 2 inches long, and sometimes they're flying around. They look like a small hummingbird. They're so big. They're kind of pretty. They never bother me. I've gotten real close. Never actually touched one. But these are the guys that, you know, will sting a tarantula in combat to death, drag it into its hole, lay their eggs on it. But I've seen them, one time I saw one pulling a small spider across the road, dirt road, and another time a katydid, green katydid. So, well, I'm about halfway up to the hawk's nest, but this is a good visual point of the raven's nest. Quite a ways away though. And there's one of the ravens. Steady watch. Not in the shade yet though, but he will be. It's got to be 103 out here right now. Oh, there's a nest, right, almost right below it. I just had something incredible happen. A big white bird. I think he was over there, size of a hawk, but he was snowy white. Maybe a tiny bit of hint of yellowish in him, and he flew right around the corner there. Big bird. I mean, wingspan only 3 feet. Large body. Wasn't came to mind was a great snowy owl, but obviously wasn't an owl. But I'm wondering if one of the hawks is an albino, if that's possible. I've never heard of that. Of course, what do I know? I'm not. But it was a big. If it had not been white, it would have been the size of, or maybe a large size of the hawk that I've been watching. But its whole back and the back of its wings and its belly when it flew, it was totally white. Flew right around the corner there. So when I go around there, I'm going to be watching. I'm right below where the nest is. And it's nice and shady right here. But I made mention yesterday that there wasn't a pile of sticks that didn't work. I've climbed all around here, like under the raven's nest. And there's a couple of sticks here and there, down there, and that may not even be stuff that didn't work, but not the huge pile of rejected sticks that the ravens had gone off in the field to collect. And it's just not around here. The ravens would try a stick, and it didn't stick and fell about 9 feet from the middle of the nest. It was rejected and never used again, and they would piled up, and there was at least enough twigs there to make 3 nests. And the hawks either make it work the first time, at least in this particular location, or they try it again. And if that's the case, I kind of think that's the case. And maybe in that particular respect, they're a little smarter in that particular way than the ravens. But the ravens aren't afraid to get close. Hawks, I'm just not able to get close to the hawks. Even they don't even want to fly low if I'm down there at camp. And I don't know what I'm going to get a view of that white bird again or not. Well, I've reached the point where these trekking poles are very handy for balance and stuff in certain places, but certain types of climbing are just really in the way and an obstacle, and that's what I'm faced with now. So I'm going to leave those down here. I've lengthened the strap on my camera, and I fastened binoculars to my belt buckle so that I'll be, and I put my sunglasses away so that I'll be more ready for action. Yes, it's a frame of reference. That's where I started. And as you can see, the local terrain is, anyways, a lot of big boulder type obstacles. Going up. This little guy's about 3.5 feet from me. And I'm just about on the surface of the shelf that I have to cross. I want to see the nest up at the top. I've seen some chickawaws too. And it's a good thing they are vegetarian. They could play havoc with those oxen bird's nest up here. That shelf is right on the other side of this stuff right here. Just an interesting side note, I think, is way the heck up here and everything. This isn't where somebody would just normally go hiking. It's an old pair of Hanes men's underpants. Right here where I took the picture of the lizard. Okay, that's right where I was yesterday. Now I could tie the rope around one of those big rocks there. And if I lost my, got way out there, I just started sliding. I just penduled them around like that. That would be rather a frightening experience, even though what I'm trying to do is secure the rope up there, and that way I can have a snug balance thing all the way across over to that vicinity right there. And as I mentioned, it's about probably a 40-foot drop off the edge down there, but not any nice stuff to land on, jagged rocks and stuff. Hey, I'm at the top of that slope. I hope to wrap the rope around one of the rocks and sure. But I'll tell you, this thing is a lot scarier looking from up here. The climbing term exposure is terrific, even though I know it's only maybe a 40-foot drop off the edge. From here, it feels like forever. But that's a good 50-foot long slope there. And it's at least a 45-degree angle. And like I say, if this was down on the ground flat someplace, I wouldn't hesitate to walk across that. But I haven't done any rope type stuff in years. And this old rope, and I'm going to be scared if I do it. I haven't committed yet, but I will be scared. The type of fear that is uncomfortable. But then again, I don't like giving in to that. Actually, where I'm standing right now, if just off the edge of it, it's a straight shot right off the edge down there. The only thing in the way is that bush. But I don't feel the fear. That's, I could start up here, work my way down that crack. Or I could start over there, pendulum them across. I may screw around up here, look over the edge over there where I can hold on to something. We'll see what happens. If anything did happen, I wasn't able to hold on to the rope or something. Even if it passed out, it would stop me, stop my slide. Anyway, the lightheadedness seems to have passed. Well, I'm still sitting here. I've taken the rope off my pack and I've struggled out there. And the rope is not as long as I remember it being. I think it's long enough for what I want to do. If I wanted to rappel off, say, go over and over the edge or something like that, just certainly wouldn't be enough. I'm hoping there's enough that I can double it, is what I'm hoping, is that I have 2 strands of rope coming down to me as I go down that. Anyway, I'm going to make got the one end tied around my waist, so I have to hold on to the rope, and I'm going to go up there and find a place to secure it. I'm still not committed to this, but hypothetically, if I go through with this and something terrible happened to me and I didn't survive it and this tape was found, I've had a good life. I've done a lot of things. I've had some hard times, but I've had a lot of really neat experiences. I'm 67 years old. You know, what can I say? I did what I was wanting to do. Well, I made a decision. Boy, that exposure is something else, isn't it? You have to be here to appreciate it. But decided not to do it. And I don't like any of the anchoring points of the way. That rock is too big. If I went under it, I tried to go around it over there. And anyways, could go around this rock here, but I don't feel real good about it. But I could get around it, and it would probably hold a cow. But in all honesty, if I had a good climbing rope, not that old like that one there, some other equipment, and preferably with somebody at least as experienced as me, even though it's old experience, to belay me, and moral support. Somebody could hook it around that, but then I'm not happy with that slope back there. I've tried it there, couldn't reach the rope under there, and I may be using all of these. Anyways, the whole thing, kit and caboodle, coupled with the exposure there, I've just decided that I'm 67 years old. I don't have to prove anything. And the whole thing, getting a picture of the hawks and babies, is not that important. When I get home and watch this, I may be saying to myself, "You candy ass." Jesus, Ken. But it would take me at least a half an hour, that's for sure, to try and rig up. I could go around this boulder here, and I think I would have enough rope left. But I have to climb, and I could squeeze in there, climb down in that crack down there, get the other end, either slide it around that way and go down and get the other end and pull it up through there. That's the only anchoring point. I tried slipping it through that little crack there under that boulder right there, but there's no hole there. It doesn't go through. So, and I've been trying, I would really like to see that white bird again. I'm sure I don't know what the deal is at. But this is a good place to bring my pack here and have lunch up in here. Left my gear down there. And they always come in high, I've noticed, before they go to the nest. So if that white one is part of the situation here, I haven't seen it all the looking I've done from way down there. Up here I had never. But when I saw that great big chuckawalla on the rock trip before last or before that down there, he's about 3 feet long, good 6 inches fat. I didn't know they had chuckawallas down here, and I didn't know they got that big. And I was sure I'd found something new or something. And that's probably the situation with this big white bird I saw. I don't think, even though I was doing some heavy spiritual reading last night and some praying, meditating, I doubt if that was a sign from up above or anything. It certainly wasn't a white dove. Did find this little feather climbing when I was coming around the edge of the big rock. I was going very slowly, hoping that that big white bird, I want to call it a hawk, was perched around the corner. But I want to try and save that as a souvenir. Well, I thought I'd get a picture, see what I look like when I'm chickening out. Yeah, right on the edge here. But feel very secure and confident and unfearful. But just for some reason, the feeling with what I'm able to anchor here and everything I said before, going down that rock over there. I mentioned in an earlier tape, I think, about judgment and climbing. And my judgment tells me that I could secure that rope somehow or another here and safely do without any tragic events. I could do it. The main reason I'm not doing it is the reasons I've already mentioned. Number one, I just, under the circumstances, not going down that rock. And that's the truth. Not today. Well, who knows? There may be another ending to this story. I've climbed down a little bit in this hole here. There's a snake that rope around this huge rock here that's resting up against that little area there. You can see the reach out, grab it. Yes! Now that's a good anchor point. What I can see there. There's no way that rope's going to slip between those two rocks there. And plus, got all the friction coming over the top, but it's not as perpendicular to where I want to go down there. And I may not go down, but I think I'm going to do that, rig this up and screw around along the edge there where I feel safe and see what happens. You know, as they say, one step at a time. That's what I do a lot of things. Even when I'm building things that I don't know, well, let's do this and then let's do that. We'll see. Well, I've got it wrapped around that tight spot over the top of this rock, and I got the ends back and tied off around my waist. Now it's obvious that double strength I don't have enough to get to that spot over there. But for the time being, I'm going to just fool around. Well, I'm on a little ledge on the thing here, and found out something else that I didn't anticipate. But I am out here, and but what I found out, if I can demonstrate on camera by holding it in my hand, is that this stuff is really slippery. The surface is old. It's been worn by the wind and everything. A lot of this granite, it has real good traction. Most of the stuff around here down below, I could walk right up it. Called friction climbing. But this stuff is really slick. I would be depending solely on a rope to keep me from sliding. And I don't have enough rope to get over there. But like I said, I'm going to fool around a little bit here close by where I got a place to put my foot. But that crack goes over that bush. I'm going to go over there. We'll see. Well, I'm out here still at the end of that crack above that bush that I showed. It's growing there earlier. And when is that there? I don't know, I can't tell. But I'm out here, and I got the rope slung over my shoulder and under my armpit. And there's that bush over there where my pack is. Obviously I don't have enough rope, double-stranded, to get over there. But as slick as that is, my judgment call now is, and my lack of recent experience and what have you is telling me to fool around maybe a little bit more, because then that's it. But when I get down below, I'm about 6 feet above that bush, and when I'm down below, I'll see where I was out here, and that's something. Well, it may not look like I got a little close to the bush, but I'm just barely wedged in here, and my butt's slipping, and I got a tight hold on the rope, and my judgment tells me to get the hell off the rock, and got my foot wedged in a little thing right there, but other than that, it's slicker than snot. And so much for that. I certainly intended to do this when I was coming up here, and I did see that white bird, and I may see it yet again and get it on film. Well, I had a double time getting the rope. It got pinched in there, but I finally got it out and coiled, and it's really stiff rope. And I'm going to try and throw it down there where my pack is, but maybe the smart thing would be to try to throw it off the edge. But what if I didn't quite make it? It'd be stuck out there, and but I could just pick it up down below. But anyways, here goes. Well, that was a safe throw. Anyway, so much for my planned adventure today out to the edge. But I think it's a good example of the balancing act between judgment and the fear and the confidence. And I might have had enough to get out there. I don't think so, but the decisive factor, the end result, the decisive thing was that stuff is so slick that I would be depending to. My idea was, all things considered, was that the rope was my security blanket, and probably could save my life if I did something radically wrong. But I was counting on that granite being, I don't know, when I stood up the other day, yesterday, it seemed pretty good, but I didn't try it out there further like I did today, and it is really slick in places. I'd be leaning back, having to lean back quite a bit heavily on the rope, and I wasn't counting on that. So, anyway, I decided I'm going to go down below and back around the other side and off to the side over there and have lunch. Hang around for a while and see if I can catch that light-colored, I believe it was a hawk. Before I move, I decided I'd just give a kind of a 360, more or less up. I can't really see what I'm seeing, but that's what's up on top of me. And that sticks out there like that. And then there's all that back in there. And while this was all going on too, I had thoughts about that young man in Arizona, I think it was hiking, and that boulder fell on his wrist, and he ended up cutting his wrist off, hand off to get loose. It was all on TV and everything. I don't know. That wasn't really a decisive factor today. But from this perspective, unless I get new equipment and another plan, and by then those birds will have flown away, I don't think that I'll be up here again for a while, unless I just feel like I got to do it someday. Well, I got my pack on, all everything loaded up. That bush that I was above is right behind that manzanita bush there, and the crack, that little ledge I was kind of using for friction right there, and then the top up there and down around there. Back in there is a boulder that was secured too, and now I gotta work my way down through this stuff again, and down below, over there and around the bottom, and off there someplace. But I haven't seen, since I've been up here, I've been keeping an eye open. I haven't seen one hawk fly by. I doubt they're on the nest. I think they just take off and don't. It's almost as if they don't care. Okay, over on the other side of this, the edge drops off behind there, rounded area. And there's a trail that you're getting down around the other side of the boulder. Anyway, that's the way down, but there's a feather there. Probably looks like a raven feather, but what do I know? Kind of neat though, the way it's stuck in there. I'm not going to save it or anything, but kind of pretty. Anyway, it's getting later in the day. It's hot, but I got things to do. I'm going to keep it in standby and ready to shoot. I just peeked around the corner a little bit to see if anything was sitting up there. Really would like to get a shot of that white bird. See, now this stuff here, real good traction. And it's maybe not quite as steep as, maybe steeper, I don't know, it's hard to tell. But, whoops, but it's really good. Oops, there's my trekking poles. I was going to go right back over there, but I guess I have to go get them. I almost forgot about them. This is right around the corner up there. Guess I'm working under the possibility that one of them, hopefully the white one flew into the nest. And while I was up on top, and it's going to get frightened and fly out. But I got to be ready. Like the dimension earlier, all the bird poop right down there below the nest is all over the place. Well, no adults up there, I'm sure. I haven't seen any hawks flying around since. Ooh, there we go. Did I get him? No. There he is. That's not the white one. I'm assuming that surely he sees me. I'm just going to stay right here for a few minutes. So he's checking the area out. He's getting closer and closer. Even though he's not that close, I got a telephoto. He's circling closer and closer. Look at the area, what do you think? I think he wants to go to the nest. He almost went in the nest. I think next pass he will. Man, I'm laying down in the dirt here. Sun's shining my right eye. Here he comes, I think. Something was going wrong with the camera there, but he didn't come in. Couldn't keep it on record. But he would fold his wings back as though he was making his approach and then change his mind. And he's way up there in the sky now. Yeah, I'm laying down here. When I saw him coming in the first time, I just kind of collapsed back here. He's coming in again. He didn't chases mine. I got one eye through the viewfinder and the other through the... I can't see because of the brim of my hat. There he comes. I'll be damned. God, not the white one, but God, piece the bigger off. There he goes. So cool. I could see, I thought I could see some movement in the nest besides him too. Quite a ways off, but we'll see. I'm getting pretty miserable and hot, tired. I miss when I get up here. I think he got spooked. I'm going to give it another try here. The only reason I could keep the camera on him when he comes in so fast is I just held it on the nest, knowing that if he came in, he'd be in the frame. Well, I'm just getting through the camera's almost getting too hot to hold. And he disappeared into the sun. So I'm going to go down a ways and have lunch. Maybe I'll see the white bird, maybe I won't. This is a white. God, maybe that's it. I can't tell. I think it's just a rock, but it surely is distinctive. Because if I was a real professional or anything, I'd wait here and find out. Maybe that's even another nest. It could be a white bird. Oh, way up digital zoom. That's 25 right there. If I could just see it move or something. Oh well. Well, I took my binoculars off my belt and put it around my neck again. And it's a white rock. But, man, you have a different route going down. And it's tougher getting down, I remember it. I think I'll just skip lunch. I'm about halfway down. And just get back and fix dinner. That white spot up there is so out of place. And I even put my binoculars up to 20 power. And I can't swear that isn't that bird up there. One scenario I was working on coming down the mountain so far was maybe there was a baby just ready to fly. And I startled it and it took off for its first flight or something like that. And that the young are white like that gives me plenty to research when I get home. But I have seen two hawks flying together that look just like, pretty much like the one that landed in the nest just before on this tape. And so, beats me. Like I said, I don't think it was a dove. A message from God. No sign of any white birds. That's a white thing like up on that rock where there was a bird. Pretty spooky. I'm sitting back in my chair in the shade with a pretty steady support from my elbow. And there's an adult sitting there. He's been doing things. I've been watching with him. Pull up their binoculars. And that's way out there in digital zoom. Okay, that's 20 power. That's maximum optical zoom on here. And sometimes he turns his back. I thought it was maybe a black chick. Turns around, I can see his chest. I mean, this may look better on my screen at home, so that's way out there in maximum digital zoom. I doubt I was going to look much better on, but trying to get as much info on this guy as I can identify him. It just occurred to me a minute ago that I think I have the bird book, a couple bird books in the van. I'll dig those out later. Maybe that'll answer the question about the white one. I remember when I, earlier on this tape, got a really good shot, I hope, of him coming into the nest, an adult. It didn't stay long. And then turned around and screeched and flew off. And maybe that was a fully, that was a baby that, not a baby anymore, but just, maybe they require support longer or something. And maybe when they're young like that particular species of hawk, they, now why don't that focus? Or is that my eyepiece? My eyepiece was a little bit out of focus, but not that much. I don't think it's going to make any difference. Kind of got his back looking off to the southeast. But I don't think anybody's literally sitting on the nest. And last night yesterday evening I saw one fly in, looked like this guy. And he had something in his beak, could have been a mouse with a tail, looked like, or a small snake. He dove in there and with the binoculars I see some activity, and then he didn't stay very long. So there wasn't anybody sitting on the nest. Anyway, I'm going to see if I can see from this angle. The bush. There it is. That's the big manzanita right there along the side. And then, well, from this perspective you can't. Later I feel like I'll walk over to the right and I can see the whole thing and take a shot. And if I felt like I could probably walk 150 yards over to the right, over that way, and put it, say, on a tripod, and get a lot better pictures. Actually, I've gotten all, whoa, there's the other one just flew in there. And it's not white. So we got two adults the same color. And I saw this from the back. This bird I saw was just that big, and I saw a little bit of it telling me that he was solid, white, beautiful, downy looking bird. So I'm thinking it had to be one of the young. Either that, or it's getting a little spooky. They don't have snowy owls around here. If I was way up in Canada or someplace, or Arctic Circle, I would think, wow, I saw a small. Usually I can't follow these guys that well when they're flying. He's perched up there. Where am I? Well, he's a long ways from the nest. So, one of the mates, that wasn't one of the mates I saw, the white bird. So the only explanation is that the young must be white, sometimes white like that, or occasionally there's an albino, but I think that I spooked. I don't know. They're that big, you'd think they'd be up there perched on the edge of the nest too. I honestly don't know, but I wasn't seeing things. I was really startled. It was a really beautiful bird. Big bird. I'm a little slow sometimes, but it occurred to me to back up on the zoom, even though in the eyepiece here, it looks really small. But I'm inside the optical zoom now. And maybe when I put it on my big screen, it'll look a lot different, a lot better. No, what more white birds? I know I haven't been paying much attention to the ravens today, but they've been around. I haven't specifically seen them go in there into the nest, but they've been around. I know everything's going okay with them. And I just looked at binoculars at and there's still an adult up there, but we did see two adults a while ago, and then one of them fly off. Still there. I'm assuming those are adults, but I just went through the whole damn bird book, even owls, and couldn't find that. What I saw, that bird was as white as a snowy egret, but just a hint of yellow in the tail feathers, spread out like a fan. Absolutely beautiful, and I could just kind of hear the wings. He was big, wafted in the air. He wasn't flapping fast, just kind of drifted either out of the nest and down. I was down below, down there. We're crawling up through there, and I was trying to get the camera, but I was real close. I wasn't 20 feet away. I kind of had the impression that he'd been sitting up there watching, and then I came around the corner, and whatever it is, it kind of dropped down and calmly just went on and flew around the corner of the rock, and I haven't seen it since. Well, it's kind of spooky. I went through the whole bird book, nothing in there looks like that, except egrets and seagulls. This was a big bird, bulky, big wing, close to 3 foot wingspan bird. Looked like those hawks, shape-wise. Anyway, they promised not to say anything more about the big white bird. Alright, I got on my duff. More closer, I'm leaning against a rock. It's a big rock to steady the camera a little bit. Oh, it's a bite me on the neck. Still an adult up there. Looks like something yellow or white sticking up out of the nest to the left of the dark adult. I didn't see before. This makes me wonder if it's a head of a chick. There's another one to the right, popped up. Adult looks like it's. Those are light colored chicks. Now the adult disappeared down into the nest. Maybe that yellowish color that I saw to the right was actually the breast of the adult. I'll go that way. But that other, I'm pretty sure is something in the nest. Let's change our angle a little bit. Well, just got done looking at the binoculars, feet out where I was when I was 6 feet above that little bush. There's a nest, and up there is that big manzanita on the right. Just above that, right in there, right in my pack. And that bush right there is the one I was about 6 feet above. It looks like it's almost to my goal, but that's just a perspective. But I'd worked my way down where you can't see it down there. Anyway, I had a rope secured up there, went down about 6, 7 feet, and looking along a horizontal crack to that vertical crack right there, and stopped. But that's a long ways from the edge. That's the back of an adult. It's a really different perspective. Again, there's the bush and the nest, and that outcrop of rock kind of cuts off where the adult was. You see just a little bit of it. I think there's a lizard on a rock right there. Maybe a Chickasaw. It looks almost like a watermelon vine. Some of it's dead there, but I've never seen anything like that out here. I wonder if somebody planted those, threw some seeds over it or something. Huh. Been wanting to get one of these butterflies, these white butterflies, on video. Going to digital. They sure are pretty. Not terribly big. But they just flutter all around, and they never stay in one place like that. But this one's doing. Likes what it's got there. I'm gonna go look around underneath this nice big green tree here. Well, you don't see any of these out here. Look, there's a bird. It's pushed up someplace. Small bird. A little top knot. Well, there it is from this angle. I was just above that little bush there. So I was out there. I think if I'd had the right equipment, rope that I really counted on, some nylon webbing, a pelly ring, plenty of rope length, pretty confident I would have gone on over there, but it's a moot point. And that's where the hawk nest is in there. See the hawks around here, because of the shadow I can't get the nest, but I'm way over a different angle than what I usually get from my camera. I think it's kind of interesting. I'm walking back to camp. Notice there's no ants out there in the sun, but in the shade, busy, 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 busy. Ants got enough sense to get out of the sun. A couple of quick shots. Black harvester ant carrying a dead, I hope it's dead, winged, this has got one wing thing. So apparently it is carnivorous. Well, there's two ants have been fighting, and there's another two on the other side of this nest. And they've been fighting and fighting and fighting. Where's the other two? I can't make out nothing. Maybe at home I'll be able to tell if they look like different ants or what. I'm almost out of tape. But I've actually, in person, never seen this. Seen Ant Wars actually on the TV. Different angle. It's a limit of optical zoom. But I think that's two ants fighting. But this couple and a couple about 3 feet away are really going at it. And then there's other ants, look like black carpenter ants, walking around doing their business. And one of them will come close to with a fighting pair and turn around and go the other way. Like that one that just breezed by there. These little ones, smaller ones trying to get away, I think. Yes. The other pair, adult, just swooped in. I've been watching on binoculars. One in the nest. Okay, and the one that just swooped in. Okay, both adults, they look alike. I said I wouldn't mention the white bird again, but that's a little spooky, how close it was to the nest when that happened, and I was looking for an adult to come swooping out from someplace. The black spot up above, I believe is the one that just came in. And the one sitting on the nest was all settled in, out of sight, until the other one swooped in. I haven't made that mixed up, but there's two adults up there now. I know that. I've been watching with binoculars. Just when I saw the other one flying way up high. grab the camera. Well, the last shot in this one here, I've been smoking my pipe and drinking my tea. Everything's put away. It's just sitting out. It's 20 to 8. It'll be dark in 20 minutes. And the bees left. They were giving my tea a bad time. We're going to go in here now. One of them took off. Last hunting trip. Only got less than 2 minutes of tape left. But I'm going to follow this guy, see what he's up to, because it's time to go to bed. You're going to be able to see what you're doing. Ooh, he went behind the mountain. Okay.